facts and figures, I must say that looking at the global energy consumption, it is today 140,000 terawatt hour globally we consume. Look at the energy conservation acts and all these things, still it is in progress. But when you look at from where we are getting these energy, you can still see that it is coal or fossil fuels and all this. The top two was all talking about the renewable energy resources, which is very, very, very less. Whereas you look at India, we are using almost 7,000 terawatt hour per year from coal and fossil fuels, and of course, few of the renewable energy resources as well. So the percentage of renewable energy source is extremely lower than the coal and the fossil fuels, which results when we look at the global greenhouse gas emissions, the carbon dioxide is about 65% in the climate. So that is the emission percentage, and the rest of the methanes and the nitrogen is everything is there. And at the same time, this carbon dioxide emission is mostly from the power plants and from the industry for sure. Now, when we talk about these global greenhouse gas emissions and the carbon dioxide emissions in the environment, how it is affecting the temperature in the globe. So what you are looking at that I'm started from 18 sometime, and the blue is like cooler, and the more it is yellow and orange to red, it is hotter and hotter and hotter. Looking at that, in the past few decades, the carbon dioxide emission to the environment per ppm has rose to a drastic level. We need to be very careful that how are we going to minimize this carbon dioxide emission to the environment, and that is what exactly we are looking at. But how? If I look at the globalization, if I look at the urbanization, if I look at the other few more key areas, it is extremely difficult and important as well. So looking at the urbanization, if we talk about, in the next 2050, we are going to add about 2.5 billion people from now. 2.5 billion people. When we are talking about this 2.5 billion people we are going to add in this world of home, that means we are adding more resources, more transportation. We talk about more and more and more and more. At the same time, another key factor is the digitization. We talk about the digital India today, right? Everyone? And I'm sure like everyone right now has smartphones, iPads, and tabs maybe. And most of you are using Facebook, like when we talk, or the WhatsApp. The fact says every day across the globe, we almost download 4 million songs and 7 billion videos from YouTube. Can you imagine the figure? This is the figure across globe. This is from IDC, and they said behind these downloads, behind this access to the digitized world and so on, what are the other factors are working? The more we are getting urbanized, the more devices to be added into the network, right? So by 2020, that is means next 3 to 4 years, we are going to add about 50 billion devices to this digital network. Now I'm sure like everyone has almost 2 phones, or like one more tab also, like I'm having right now. This is what is going to happen. At the same time, when we are talking about the more device, more internet connectivity, more network, we do talk about more industrialization. So, as and when we are talking about the more industrialization, It has been said that we are going to have about 50% more industry from now by 2050. Now think about, if we have 50% more industry, what would be the multiplication on the energy usage? You just imagine that, okay? We will see that how it works and what it works and so on. So when we'll work about the energy conservation, usage of energy, we are extremely happy to have the lights and ACs and all these things around us. I have to tell you that about 1.3 billion people today across the globe doesn't have access to the electricity. We just heard from our honorable guest that how it is working in Bihar, in UP, the remote places. We don't have an access there. However, apart from that 1.3 billion people across globe, there are 1 billion people more who doesn't have a sustainable energy resources. So these figures, is this scare you? Is this a food of thought when you are thinking about that, what is happening there and how can we make it better and better? Okay? Have a look on the rest of the stuff. When we talk about the energy, or we talk about like when you are having the education, we talk about a playground, we need a basic right. That is a human's basic right, is to get the energy. So if I have the light today at my home, maybe my kid can study and can read and all these things are there. But then when we are talking about the basic energy, most of the time we are getting an unsustainable energy resources or the way of utilizing the energy. And whenever we are using these unsustainable energy, of course, it is contributing to more losses to the environment, right? Apart from this, we need to understand how can we manage these kind of problems efficiently. Let's have a quick figure on that. Our challenge would be in next 40 years that the energy consumption will be multiplied by 1.5 times what we are using today. At the same time, you saw that the carbon dioxide emission, effect of greenhouse gases, how the temperature has been rose from the past 1800 years to today. If we do not cut down the carbon dioxide emission to the environment, it would be a big, big, big problem. Just to give you a figure, about 4.2 million people's death is, most of the time, the reason is the climate. And the when we talk about these problems in the carbon dioxides or greenhouse gas or such kind of stuff. So if we do that, the result ultimately what we need to achieve is whatever the performance today we have, we are doing it in our industry, we need to be 3 times more effective and most importantly efficient. Okay? If we don't do that, then this figure will never come in our lifetime. At the same time, when we are talking about these kind of more energy, cut down the cost, this is such kind of ill effects to our world. And we, like the one person or one set of company, cannot just work on this ill effect alone. All of you sitting here in this hall, we need to work together to minimize the ill effects to the climate and to this world. Whereas we need more electric tomorrow, we will be more digitized tomorrow, we will be more decarbonized tomorrow, and we will be more decentralized from one set of source of power to the renewable powers sources. Okay? So while I'm talking to all these 4 major areas, let me take you through a ride of how we are going to do that. Let's take a look to a small video.